Recorded Books presents a Griot audio production. Up at the College by Michele Andrea Bowen. This unabridged recording is narrated by Shari Peel. This book is copyrighted 2009 by Michele Andrea Bowen. This recording is copyrighted 2009 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Griot Audio, celebrating the best in contemporary African American fiction and nonfiction.
Prologue. Yvonne sat on the floor, surrounded by the boxes crowding up the living room, wishing she had said yes instead of no when her parents asked if she wanted them to come up to Richmond and help with the packing. The movers were coming in 3 days, and Yvonne felt like she could use 6. She didn't want to move out of her home, but she had to, because Daryl, her soon-to-be ex-husband, had threatened to fight her for custody of their 2 daughters if she didn't take the girls and get out of their home by a certain date. Nobody who heard the story could believe that a man would put his wife and children out of their own home based on the bogus assumption that this house was his, simply because Yvonne was an at-home mom when they bought it. The doorbell rang. "Who is it?" Yvonne spat out, and then kicked a half-filled moving box, hurting her toe. The doorbell rang again, this time followed by loud and insistent knocking. Didn't this person hear her say, "Who is it?" Yvonne thought, as she snatched the door open, ready to flip off on whoever was on the other side. Her angry glare met the bewildered expression of the young lady cradling a crystal vase filled with 3 dozen velvety pink roses. "Mrs. Copeland?" the young woman asked in a kind and soothing voice. "Yes," Yvonne said, her voice a whole lot softer. "These are for you." "Me?" Yvonne raised an eyebrow, wondering who thought she needed a vase full of expensive pink roses when her budget was so tight. "Yes, these are for you," the young woman answered and put the vase in Yvonne's hands. "Come on in," Yvonne said over her shoulder as she put the vase on top of the white baby grand piano and turned to sign for the flowers. "You have a beautiful home, Mrs. Copeland." All Yvonne could do was nod. The house was very beautiful, but it wasn't her home anymore. She said, "Do you have a pen?" The young woman reached into the bag on her shoulder and put a pale pink envelope into Yvonne's outstretched hand. "They are not paying me enough for this," she thought, watching Yvonne trying to figure out what in the world was going on. "These flowers are not from the florist. My boss, your husband's lawyer, was instructed by Dr. Copeland to deliver your separation agreement and these flowers to you." Yvonne couldn't believe Daryl. Today was Valentine's Day, and he knew how much she loved Valentine's Day. It was like he was doing everything in his power to hurt her as badly as he could. She felt the weight of the envelope and tried not to admire the exquisite, fine linen stationery in her favorite color. Valentine's Day. Yvonne kept thinking as she whispered, "Why me?" "Mrs. Copeland, are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm fine," Yvonne answered as she struggled to blink back hot tears. She had been prepared for hurt, surmising that she couldn't get through a divorce without some casualty of the heart, but she didn't know it would be this bad. The young woman had never met Yvonne, but she knew that in her worst moment, Mrs. Copeland had never done anything to be treated like this by her husband and the father of her children. Tears streamed down Yvonne's cheeks as she stared into the kind blue eyes of this unlikely bearer of bad news. "Mrs. Copeland, I could get fired for saying this to you, but you have to know that any man who treats you with such disregard is not worth your tears. I pray that the day you leave this house, you will step out on faith, trust God, and never look back. Yvonne sat down on one of the moving boxes. She put her face
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.